Hi, this is Starkey Sowers. Welcome to the Nutrition Mission Podcast from Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market. So the idea of this, Jessica, is to bring all sorts of things to the public's view as well as to some audible situations. So if you're driving down the road or you're doing this, you can listen to some of the episodes. We're going to have all sorts of topics, everything from like tea to sports nutrition to keto diets and the popular diets of the time. You excited for this?
So excited. So make sure you guys subscribe to our channel and you can go find us on YouTube like Starkey said. So are you guys ready?
All right.
We're all about the Nutrition Mission.
All right. So welcome, Sarah Berryman, to the episode here that we're going to talk about women's volleyball today.
Awesome.
Right?
Thank you for having me.
No, it's great. I've been
Yeah.
talking about doing something like this for a while with you. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of curious as well.
Okay.
Because I don't usually go to women's volleyball things because none of my daughters were in volleyball. So I got lots of questions for you today.
Okay, cool.
So first of all, you've worked at Clark's for, a couple days, right?
Couple
I was
days.
going through my brain and trying to remember the year that you started working with this. And I was coming around like 2011 or 12. Is that right?
2010.
2010.
End of 2010.
End of 2010.
Yeah.
So 2011 would have been about right.
Right.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember you started right about the time that Shane, my son, was working with us. And
No, that's right.
yeah, kind of guys
Yeah.
came together about that same time.
Yep. Graduated college in 2010 and then started working here, and that's where
All
I've
right,
been.
let's talk about where you went to college.
Okay. So actually I started off at Riverside Community College.
So better known as University of California at Magnolia.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I was there for 2 years. Played volleyball there.
So you played volleyball at RCC. You're a
I
Tiger.
did. I'm a Tiger.
You're a Tiger?
Yeah. Set a couple records there. Still have those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What records did you set?
Setting assists for a game and then total season assists.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know I was in with royalty for us Tigers, right?
That's right. And then after that, I transferred to Waldorf College in Iowa.
So Waldorf College. What was Waldorf College all about?
So we're the Warriors.
So Tiger to Warrior.
Tiger to
That's
Warrior.
not bad.
Yes. Played volleyball out there. Graduated with a wellness degree.
Yeah.
And I studied out there. It actually took me 3 years to finish my degree.
Your mom was working with us at the time.
Yes.
And she told me all about you all the time,
Oh, yeah.
blah, 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 and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And then the day that you came to work with us, I felt like this was a great moment.
Yeah, I think it was a perfect fit. I mean, obviously, me having a wellness degree, we focus on all aspects of wellness, including nutrition. So,
Right.
I thought it fit right in.
So let's broaden this female volleyball thing a little bit, okay? So you go to RCC, greatest school ever.
Yeah.
So then you go to Waldorf College, right? After Waldorf College, all right, come to work with us. But in the moment, you're doing this women's volleyball, all right? And so then when you get out, you decide, well, I still want to be in the game.
Right.
So what do you do?
Well, actually, before I started at Clark's, I started coaching high school volleyball. So I coached at a local area high school for a year, did that, and then kind of backed off of that for a little bit, started working, and then I started coaching club volleyball.
So club volleyball.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys travel around?
We travel around. So we play here in Southern California.
So real quick, what's the ages that you have?
So we have a juniors program. So we have kids as young as 8 years old. And then,
all the way up to high school?
All the way up to seniors in high school.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, we have about 12 teams in our club.
That's a lot of teams.
Yeah, it's a lot of teams. We've really grown. So I was there the second year that the club started, and now we've expanded to 12 teams.
So for a while, Cameron was helping you too.
Yeah,
So I've got to get Cameron on, and I think Cameron would be a great guy to have. Cameron Noor, if you guys never at Clark's, in the Clark's culture in Loma Linda, worked with us for years. He's one of the sharpest guys you'll ever meet. Personal trainer, teaches high school now. Just great guy. I'll call him after this and try to get him on the show.
Yeah. No, he's amazing. I've done some personal training with him too,
Yeah.
so he knows his stuff with strength training and everything. So that's he actually works with our club. He does strength training and agility
So still
training,
with you guys, and
injury
part of
prevention, all that, which is essential for sports.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's kind of take this a little bit further. So we're doing, mapping it backwards. Now we're still working with athletes, still doing the deal. So here's just some fun thoughts. Okay. All right. Just fun thoughts. So what do you look for in a female volleyball athlete, right? What are you looking for? Obviously, you're a little taller than a lot of females, the average height, okay? But
I mean, volleyball, it depends on the position. So, I mean, we have players that play in the front row that typically they're taller.
Right.
And then back row players, they can be shorter. So, yes, I mean, if there's a girl that tries out and she's 6'2", then we're going to most likely take
we're
her
moving
on the
her
team.
to the front, right?
I mean, you can't teach height. So,
you can't teach that as right.
No.
You can have all the vertical hop in the world, but it ain't going to happen.
Right, and all the athleticism, but you
Right.
can't teach that. So,
Yeah.
but good, well-rounded athletes. Hopefully, I mean, you don't have to be specialized in one sport. I think it's really beneficial to be a multi-sport athlete.
Multi-sport athlete.
Yeah, so a lot of kids that have come to us, they played soccer before, they played softball before, and a lot of the movements are from other sports are similar.
Yeah,
and
side
they're
to side, back and forth.
Yes,
up
the
and
arm
down.
motions. Yeah. I mean, spiking a volleyball is almost the same as throwing a softball. So
right.
it all translates.
So there's a lot of translation into any type of sport.
Yeah.
Fun sport to watch.
It is.
It is a very fun. And by the way, every now and then I'll see them hit or spike, and I'm like going, that looked pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, and on TV, if you watch it on TV too, it kind of slows down the game a little bit.
Yeah. So imagine
it's a whole heck of a lot faster in real life. Yeah.
Shane used to play badminton. I thought, cool. It's a surfer sport. It's one of those sports you don't have to dedicate much to. And so they used to play at Orange County Badminton Center.
Okay.
And that's where the Olympic athletes are.
Oh.
It took me 20 minutes to be able to see the wick. That's how hard and how quick they hit it.
Oh my gosh.
And they would jump like 3 feet in the air on every smack.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. I thought it was like a wimpy sport. And
right.
they had weights in this corner and they did Olympic lifts and all. So, okay.
Okay, serious, yeah.
So same thing here, very serious. Do you guys do weight training? What are some of the lifts that you do, or is it more strength training?
So with club, we're kind of limited. We don't have a weight center, so it's mostly body weight exercises.
Okay.
Now,
you can get a lot done with that.
So we stress that the athletes do work out on their own at home, especially when they're not in high school volleyball season, because high school volleyball you practice every day, but with club we only practice twice a week.
Twice a week.
So it's really essential that the athletes stay in shape. So they're doing cardio at home or they're doing weightlifting at home.
So you guys give them kind of a program or tell them or work with Cameron.
Cameron. Yeah. So they'll give them exercises. And the main thing is injury prevention. So if we can strengthen, especially women, ACL injuries are so prevalent.
Oh, yeah.
So prevalent.
So if you can strengthen up those knees, then you prevent that
ankles.
ACL.
So the main thing is ankles in volleyball. ACL injuries, meniscus injuries, that's very common in soccer and other sports too, but definitely in volleyball because there's the aspect of jumping up and down and you could land on somebody. In fact, I had one of my starters last season go out with a knee injury.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. So, I mean, it happens every season. So if the girls can weight train or do stability training or, just strengthen those joints, then that's going to help them prevent injuries.
Makes a big
and that's
difference.
the main thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, in college, I had a strength coach, and we did all the power lifts. We did deadlifts, we did squats, we did hang cleans. We did it all.
Did you guys do snatches too at all?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, I can't snatch for the life of me. I can do kettlebell snatches all day long.
Oh, okay.
But two-handed snatches ain't going to happen.
Oh, okay.
I just don't think my shoulders want to go that way.
No.
And it takes a long time to get to that moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I still do them. Yeah, I think it just builds your entire body. It's
they're
a
studly.
total, yes.
I didn't start doing them until about 4 years ago when Annie was training with me, my daughter, and she was doing snatches. I'm like, well, let me try that. And I started doing them like, oh, this is addicting.
Yeah.
I mean, do like 5 reps and I'm on the corner breathing,
Oh,
right?
I know.
I'm like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, what's that all about?
I know.
Right?
Yeah, I was actually doing some yesterday, but it just works your entire body.
Yeah, they're
it's
beastie.
awesome. Yeah.
All right, so then what kind of nutrition things do we do with these guys? I mean, they're high school kids or younger. It's like, how do you convince them to eat right? What do you, I know you coach them on that.
Right.
So
there's a little bit of talk about it preseason, and obviously Cameron does a lot of that preseason. So, just having a well-rounded diet. And we really stress a good amount of protein. There have been so many situations where the girls are just gassed out at practice. And first thing we ask them, did you eat before practice?
yeah, did you see the performance?
Oh, yeah.
Is hindered instantly, and it's like something's wrong with the food stuff here.
Right. So what did you eat before practice? Did you eat anything?
Which oftentimes is no.
Yeah. So they're rushing from coming home from school and then getting homework done and then coming to practice. And I get it. When I played, I couldn't eat right before practice because
Well, you got the adrenaline too,
yeah,
right?
The adrenaline, and then I would have GI issues. But yeah, it's essential to at least get a good solid meal an hour before practice.
So yeah, that hour before, maybe 2 hours before, critical zone, if you can do that, even if it's a snack of relative 300-400 calories or something, it's going to make a huge performance difference.
Especially getting those simple carbohydrates in. So fruits are really good, white rice, that sort of thing. Simple carbohydrates. You want to stay away from fats because that's
so you don't want to do
down
MCT oils.
Probably not. Let's stay away from the heavy oils. Yes. Yeah. So simple carbs and then a little bit of protein and definitely a good solid meal after.
Years ago, a lot of guys were using heavy amounts of MCTs to get their calories up. Oh. And because, basically it doesn't turn into fat because it helps them metabolize and thermogenic and all these other different stuff. And so one of the guys told me, I use like 4 tablespoons before I train. And so I got up one time early, hit about 4 tablespoons, about 5 o'clock, went to the gym. Thought I was just going to puke my brains out. Went to the bathroom 3 times. It's not. Yeah, so the simple carbs have their message and have their meaning, and that's the time to do it. What about post? What about after the workout or after the game? Or
well, you definitely need more simple carbohydrates, definitely need protein.
Right.
And then
that's the protein window, right?
Yeah, that's the protein window. But I mean, obviously, you know that you're not going to absorb the protein unless you have some simple carbohydrates back in there with it.
So just kind of mix the two of those together and hit them and make it work.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk hydration. Okay. Do they get dehydrated? They're inside. No way.
I know. And we start practicing when it's almost close to winter, and then our season ends in June. And some of the facilities that we play in, and we play tournaments, so we're playing from about 7:30 in the morning to about 2-3 o'clock, and then with our more advanced teams, we play until 5 o'clock.
Yeah, so you're right in the peak of the day.
All day, yes.
So even though it's inside, you're still in the peak of the day.
Right, and it's incredibly hot. And so when girls are coming in with just water, that's a mistake. They need to make sure.
So water's not enough.
Water's not enough. Definitely not enough. So
okay, so here's the intensities out. So we actually see, because you hear that a lot. Oh, just drink water and you'll be fine.
Right.
All right. So when I play basketball and it's 102 outside, I do drink water, but I pour more water on my head than I actually drink it.
Right. Yeah.
So if I'm going to drink something, it's better if I've got some simple. The one I've been using is that Zao one, which has got the coconut water in it and stuff like that. Yeah. So that works like great, So
yeah, just something to add to the water. Obviously, it's going to prevent cramping too. We've seen that quite a bit. Their calves start cramping up, and I mean their energy level just decreases dramatically if they're not consuming some type of electrolyte.
Yeah, so you can actually just see the temperance in their energy just tank down. Yep. So do you guys do that in between events, like if you have multiple events and stuff like that?
Right, and sometimes we'll bring drinks for the girls, and in my medical pack, I always have an electro mix in there. So if they're not feeling well, I dump it in their water, and it helps them.
And then it perks up.
Right.
And then the light goes on. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That actually works. It's amazing, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk additional supplements. Are there any other additional supplements that you might use or recommend, I mean, because these are teenagers and they're kids and stuff like that. So, you don't go in there and go, hey, use beta-alanine, use creatine, use this. I mean, that's not going to be your deal, right?
Right. I think a good starting point would be a good multivitamin. I mean, especially...
for the youngers, like maybe a gummy or something like that.
Something like that. Just something to cover the bases. And then we all know that kids don't consume the right amount of fruits and vegetables.
Really?
So maybe incorporating some type of greens powder would help with their energy levels as well. In fact, I had a dad come into my store yesterday, and he was asking about his daughter that's 16 playing soccer and she's lifting, doesn't have a lot of energy. And he went over to the pre-workouts, and I said, you need to hold off on those a little bit.
Right.
The amount of caffeine that's in there. I mean, obviously the kids should have enough energy to
but
get them through.
Shouldn't have 2 loads of Starbucks like espressos, right?
No, not at all. So just something natural. I mean, they could also take branched-chain amino acids, which would also help with their muscle recovery, especially if they're lifting weights and if they're working out for extended periods of time.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say a multivitamin is like baseline.
So multivitamin baseline, hydration, second for sure. Get enough calories in.
Right.
So you've heard of this before, the female triad.
Right.
Yeah. Which is not enough calories, too much training, grumpiness, issues with menstrual irregularities, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So body fat's getting too lean, performance is going out the door,
right, and that's
sleep's done.
Right, exactly. That's when injuries happen. So that's why ACL injuries are so prevalent in women, is because around our menstrual cycles, our joints loosen, and so that's what causes us to tear our ligaments and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, we really have to be careful. So proper hydration, proper nutrition is essential.
What about stretching? You guys stretch at all?
So we do a dynamic warm up.
Okay, so that's like a stretching
So it's like
combination.
a stretch combination. I mean, everything that I've heard and in the research that I've done, stretching could also loosen up the muscle and joint to the point of injury.
Okay,
so what we do is more sports-specific active stretching.
So stretching that would be applicable to the sport that you're doing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
which makes a lot more sense, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So we don't want to overstretch the muscles, overstretch the joints. We just want to get them to the point where the movement feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Smart.
Right.
Yeah. And that's typically what I've always done in the gym for years is like people, hey, let's do stretching. Like, you guys have fun. I'm just going to do some basic warm-ups on the stuff that I'm doing.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
So makes much more sense.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be squatting, you don't want to stretch out that area too much. You just want to maybe do some air squats and deep squats just to get the joints moving.
And I found for years when I tried to do that, I always had injuries.
Yeah.
Back hurt, knees hurt, everything hurt.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not going to stretch anymore. And if I stretch, I'll stretch after.
Right. And if you do have a muscle that's especially sore, then yes, you may want to stretch that one out or use a foam roller. Those work great too to help work out some of that.
Cameron's got some unique tools though, doesn't he?
Oh, the washa?
Yeah.
I've had that done before.
Yeah, that's brutal.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. I wanted to smack him when he did it with me. He did it with a 10-pound plate.
Oh,
he took a 10-pound plate and he's like rubbing my jaw out.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like going, dude, I'm going to smack you, dude. I swear I'm going to smack you. He goes, you do know I know Muay Thai well. I go, I don't care.
Right.
You know, I'm like,
I know.
and this hurts, dude.
Yes,
and he
it
just
hurts so
laughed,
bad.
called me a pansy and kept working on it. So,
I know. I think he was working on my hamstring one time and my heel kicked up. I almost knocked him in the jaw. So,
yeah.
But, I mean, afterward.
Maybe that's the way to get to him.
Afterward, it feels great. I mean,
Oh, no.
just
It was
gets in there.
amazing. My shoulder motion and everything had improved like 30%.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was
know.
like, and he's like, dude, if I did this before you squatted, you'd add like 40 or 50 pounds in the
Definitely.
bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I keep you in my pocket?
I know. Yeah.
All right.
So that's pretty cool.
Cool. Well, I felt like we covered a lot of the grounds. Is there anything that you would like to say that we didn't talk about?
Oh goodness. Just the importance of strength training. So, I mean, most schools do have coaches. High schools do have coaches that that are training the kids how to lift properly. But then there's so many resources online. Obviously, YouTube.
Sure.
I would go on YouTube and look at proper lifting techniques. But I think especially in women in general and then in women's sports, the idea of not getting bulky, it's out there.
Yeah,
women don't want to put on muscle, but in order for you to advance to the next level, it's so important for you to lift weights and just in the aspect of injury prevention, but it adds to your power, it adds to your speed. So just
everything climbs.
Yeah, you got to hit the gym.
You got to hit the gym.
You have
you
to
don't hit the gym, you're setting yourself up.
Right. And all of the college athletes do it. A lot of high school athletes do it. All the professional athletes do it. So it's so important.
So I'm at of all things, I'm literally at a reception for a funeral, right? So I'm sitting down at this table. The guy was one of the one of the college volleyball coaches for CBU. He went on to go to, I forget, somewhere in the South, right? And so we're sitting there, and he says the number one complaint he gets from the moms when the girls come back for the first semester is like, my daughter has muscles in her legs. And he's like, and I looked at him, I started laughing. I go, dude, so you did your job, right?
Right.
And he goes, yeah. He goes, but they think they're getting bulky and this is a bad thing and stuff like that. And I go, do you check body fat? And he goes, no. He goes, we don't. I go, do you speculate that the body fat's going down? Oh yeah, it's obvious the body fat's going down. I go, why don't you start doing body fat and tell the moms and everybody afterwards, go, you're welcome. Let me show you what we did. We reduced their body fat and we improved the muscle tone, so their metabolisms are going to stay young for the rest of their life.
That's right.
And he goes, I never heard it that way. I go, you got to learn how to sell, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a sport that we definitely, not only volleyball is something that you can do at a young age, an older age, you still play yourself and compete every now and then and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a great sport to like take and advance for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah.
All right, Sarah, thanks for coming. I'm going to have you come back on another subject another time.
Awesome. Sounds good.